I just came out of watching Superman, the first movie in the new DC universe, and with this new iteration of Superman, we follow, well, Superman, who must reconcile his alien Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as reporter Clark Kent. As the embodiment of truth, justice, and the human way, he must soon find himself in a world that finds these as old-fashioned. So if you have seen Superman, please let me know. What do you think about the movie? And either way, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into the review. So, it wasn't just me, but the hype for this movie was unreal. This movie felt like a comic book movie event. I tried the Dairy Queen promotion like 3 times, that was wonderful. All the merchandising, toys, tie-ins, it's like, wow, they really have faith in this new Superman movie, and if this film does well, and if it's good, then this new universe can really go off for the next 10 plus years. And well, I came out of seeing it a couple days ago, and this movie is incredible. I think many people are gonna walk out of Superman extremely happy with it and be way more excited for what James Gunn is gonna plan to do in this new DCU. One thing that I absolutely loved about this movie is how different it feels. This is not your typical Superman movie. They completely skip Superman's origin because we've already seen that before, and instead they establish the new DC universe of metahumans and superheroes have been around for 300 years, and at the beginning of the movie, they do a great job at quickly explaining what the universe was in the past, or like building exposition for us to know about this new universe, and the film quickly jumps into the action, which I actually thought was very welcoming, jumping into an already established world. What I love about this new Superman, played brilliantly by David Corenswet, is, yes, while he is a super godly-like being throughout the movie, he is tiny bit weaker. He does get beaten up at times, he gets hurt, but at the same time, I love that change, because the Zack Snyder version or the Christopher Reeves version, no offense to them, but Superman has always kind of been an overly powerful, godly character, and James Gunn wanted to tone that down a little bit, so that you can give the character a lot more suspense, and Superman feels a lot more relatable. He feels a lot more human than any other version of the character. He is still a very much powerful and godly version of the character, but he's slightly toned down, not that much, but just to make him a bit more relatable to the audience, and I loved that. And also David Corenswet as Clark Kent, he does a great job too, and we don't see a whole lot of Clark Kent anywhere throughout the movie. It's just for like the first 10 minutes, and then he's pretty much just Superman for the whole movie, which, I mean, this guy has pretty dope action throughout the film. I mean, his costume is beautiful, and when you see him fully in action during the third act, wow, the action scenes are beautiful, and I love how this movie fully embraces the comic book side of Superman and DC, kind of like with what Peacemaker, since Peacemaker now is technically connected in this universe, they have very colorful costumes and looks, and it very much doesn't feel realistic. It feels very much in line with this world, and it feels different from our reality, which just makes this universe so much more interesting. The cinematography, the way everything looks, is very cinematic in a way, while also having a very dynamic and unique look on all the action sequences. To the camera waiting a second for Superman to fly up, to the camera shaking whenever Superman is flying, or the camera emphasizing the logo on his costume. It's beautiful stuff, and especially in the third act, that's when the cinematography got really great. Also, I love how the movie did Lois Lane in this movie. Now, Superman and Lois Lane, they don't pair up a ton in the movie, but the chemistry that they do have in the movie is fantastic. The way Rachel Brosnahan plays Lois Lane, she has such a natural and comfortable way of playing with the character, which also is perfect when she's paired up with David Corenswet.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman.
Now, another thing I love about this movie is Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult does a fantastic job as the character. He's just the biggest hater in the world, and you just love to see it, because it is hilarious. He can be a very funny, but he can also be an extremely intimidating character. He did something to a character that I won't say in the movie, and it shocked me. And the reaction that Superman had on his face just made it more impactful, and it's like, oh crap, this guy is no joke. And I will also say that the Justice Gang and all the extra characters and even the surprise cameos they have in this movie, which there are two, this is very much still a Superman-centric film, with other DC characters too, since this is a universe where superheroes have lived for over 300 years. So while it is still a very Superman-centric film, it's a very populated film too, with a lot of characters like Mr. Terrific, the Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, and Mr. Terrific was the biggest standout of the movie, and he's the character that actually did a lot in the film. Not only is his powers really cool, because he technically doesn't have powers, he's just a really smart man, but Guy Gardner, he's absolutely hilarious and feels like the most James Gunn, and Hawkgirl, she didn't really do much in the movie, but they all serve their purposes well, and I can't wait to see their characters more in the future. But the biggest highlight I have to give this movie is its message of humanity and hope. This Superman is very much a hopeful version of the character. He really cares about the people in Metropolis, and you can really tell, especially with the kaiju fight scene where he's saving like people and he's even saving animals. This is a Superman that I would definitely look up to, but I love the message of kindness, of going out to be kind and being the best person that you can be. That is gonna really hit some people really hard, and I know it hit me very hard too, because what a beautiful message that they established in this film. Wonderful. Something else that I thought was interesting about Superman is how it didn't feel James Gunn-esque. Yes, I feel like Guy Gardner, his character does feel the most James Gunn, with literally using middle fingers to kill soldiers, like that's silly, and Mr. Terrific having a scene where they're playing like a rock song, and even the end scene of Superman 2 that plays a song that very much feels like James Gunn and all of his cameos of his friends. But the film overall doesn't feel like that. The only time the film feels like James Gunn is not with Superman. The stuff with Superman feels very different from any of his other films, which I thought was very welcoming, and I love that. This just shows that James Gunn can do very different kind of films, at least from what I've seen, because he is a wonderful director. So Superman overall is a fantastic start to this brand new DC universe. I cannot wait to see how this universe is going to build out for the next 10 plus years. I'm going to look back at this review 10 years later and be like, wow, that was such a great memory watching that first DCU movie in theaters, and by the time we have like a Justice League movie or something else, man, going back to this movie is going to feel so nostalgic, and I love this film. The movie has a fantastic message about kindness, hope, and humanity, beautiful action sequences, a fantastic performance by all of the cast. This film is just masterful in every way, and is James Gunn's best work that he's ever done. So with that being said, I'm going to give Superman my first on my channel, its peak category. Yes, this is the first time I've ever done that on the channel, and my full ranking will be a 10 out of 10. This movie is phenomenal, and you guys have to go see it. Please, go witness this movie for yourself, because I think it's one of the best DC films of all time.